Hey guys, it's Autumn, and today I am bringing you a rat care guide. This has been pretty requested because I have a few friends who are really wanting rats, so I figured I'd go ahead and make this video now. Yeah, without further ado, keep on watching if you want to learn some more about pet rats and how awesome they are. Like I do in most of my care guide videos, I'm going to talk about the history first. So there's not a whole lot of history about rats, whereas like there is with mice. I don't know what it is, but with mice there is so much research, and I will be making a video about them later as pets. But for now, I will give you the little bit of research I could find on rats. So there's a lot of negative history with rats. For instance, which a lot of you have probably heard of, the bubonic plague, which killed a bunch of people. It killed over 25 million people. That is insane. 25 million people. That was a fourth, like a quarter of Europe's population, and that took place in the 1300s. So the biggest contributing rats to the bubonic plague were black rats.
Excuse me, ferrets.
My ferrets are playing over there in the corner, so you might hear some rustling. I apologize. So the way the plague was transferred was by fleas. The fleas were still on the rats, and the rats were the ones that kind of gave and passed the plague. So not really the rats. They were the ones that just kind of carried the fleas around. A lot of black rats were on ships at the time, so that kind of took it around the world, which is so wonderful. But luckily, the plague ceased in the 1800s, so that is a very, very good thing. But again, because of the ships and because of the plague and all that stuff, we have, number one, we have rats everywhere, but also they have a really negative connotation. So what can we keep in mind? Rats were not the ones that gave people the bubonic plague. It was the fleas that the rats carried on them. So yeah, rats are good. Rats are angel babies. So with black rats in particular, they're kind of the first rats, if you will. They're the ones that we have the most of and have seen go the farthest back in history. So we have found bones that date black rats back to the 4th century. Yes, these bones were found in Europe, so it's pretty safe to say that they kind of originated in Europe, so we think. And though these bones seem to come from the 4th century, we only have documentation of them being around since the 1200s. The next rat that we saw after the black rat was the Norway rat, which is another name for brown rat, which we see a lot more of, I think, today. So these brown rats appeared in Europe in about, I'd say, in the 1500s, and they appeared in North America around 1775. Brown rats are the ones that like to be low, and they're like your sewer rats. They like to be underground. They like to be hidden and concealed. They just like the lower levels. Unlike black rats are often found in plants and in trees and kind of higher up, and black rats are almost extinct, which is very sad. And brown rats are pretty much what we have today, not the black rats, and they are the ones that mostly prefer animal matter, whereas black rats seem to prefer a little bit more of a plant-based diet. Norway rats, brown rats, like insects. They eat animal matter, they eat fruit, vegetables. They're kind of more opportunistic, where they'll eat anything that's around. So that brings us to today. Rats are one of the most common pets. They are really easy to take care of, they are really friendly, they're incredibly intelligent, and they're very clean, which is another common misconception. They are very clean animals. The most common that I think we see here in America are the hooded rats, fancy rats, the ones that you would see in pet stores. Hooded just meaning they have like a darker head and then they have like a strip that goes down their back. They're usually duo colored. And then Dumbo rats, they're the ones that have the little floppy ears and they're so cute, like Dumbo. I'd say a few things to keep in mind if you are considering having a rat as a pet is you need a lot of space to keep rats. Rats like bigger cages. I have one that is 4 levels, and it is kind of like the Midwest cage, which is this picture here, but I bought the All Living Things cage from PetSmart. So it's very similar, just different brand name really, and this one was a little bit cheaper. So I really like this one. I think it's easy to clean. It has 2 doors that open in the front on the bottom and on the top. It's super easy to clean. I had a ferret cage in the past for them. It was much smaller and it was absolutely a nightmare to clean. I do not recommend that cage. It was like a KT cage, I think. This one I like so much more. It is so much easier. My rats are much happier. I can hang more hammocks in there. I could give them more space to run around. They really seem to like it. Another thing to keep in mind with rats is if you do get them, I would suggest getting them in at least a group of 3. They're very social, both males and females especially. So it is best to keep them in groups. I really like a group of 3. That way, if one were to pass away, the other one wouldn't get super tremendously lonely. It seems to be really common that they can die of loneliness or just get really depressed if they are by themselves. I like groups of 3. I think it works really well. I have 4 hooded rats behind me. Other things to keep in mind, these guys only live an average of about 2 years, maybe up to 3. They don't have a very long lifespan. So I would definitely say if you want something that isn't super long term, rats are going to be a good way to go. They are absolute poop machines, so you're going to want to clean their cage often. I am not kidding when I say buy a handheld vacuum. This is the best thing as a rat owner you could possibly buy. It makes cage cleaning so much easier. I usually just sweep all of their poop to one area, vacuum it up so I don't cause them a whole lot of stress, and then wipe everything down. As you can maybe see in here, instead of using like a Carefresh bedding or something along those lines, I just use fleece blankets. I go to Joann's and often buy the fabric there. Walmart used to sell blankets that were perfect for $2.50. Haven't seen those. Walmart, what's going on? Can you please bring those back? Those were cheap and cost effective. I loved them. But yes, I use fleece. I think it works better. They seem to really like it. It has just a nicer appearance, and you can wash the fleece. So it's reusable. The only thing I've noticed is they seem to chew it to a lot of little tiny itty bitty pieces, so that kind of stinks, but still, I like it more personally. As far as food goes, I recommend keeping food in there at all times. They kind of eat as they please, so you don't have to worry about regulating how much they eat. Currently, I am using the KT Supreme diet. I figured I would try it. I bought it in like a 20-pound bag or something, but to be perfectly honest, I'm not a huge fan. Let me show you what it looks like. I keep it in a container like this just so it stays fresh and I have a lot of food at one time. But I have found that this food, if we can maybe see, it may not pick up on camera, but it appears very chalky. Like my hands are covered in what looks like sawdust. It's just a very chalky food and dry. I'm not a huge fan of it, and I don't really like the ingredients it has personally. I would much rather suggest the KT Forte diet. I think that one is a much better variety, and I like the pellets in that one. Oxbow adult rat food is also very good. I really like that one. I mix that in a lot of times with my current foods, just because I like to give my rats variety, and mine actually aren't very picky. They don't pick out things that they like. They actually seem to eat a pretty well balanced diet, which is rare. That is pretty rare with small animals, especially rats. They usually like to pick and choose what they eat. But I like them to have variety. You can make your own food at home. Like I said, like the KT Forte diet, I don't know. And also VitaCraft mouse and rat food. I use all the same for my mice and my rats. They seem to do a great job with it. They seem to really like it. And then about every other day, I'll either give them vegetables or like berries. I love giving them like apples, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. They don't really discriminate with the berries. They seem to like it. And then as far as veggies go, I often give them like cauliflower or broccoli, maybe even kale or like a leafy green or bok choy. They love bok choy. It's just a really great way for them to get that little bit of extra water in their system, keep them hydrated, but also give them a nice healthy treat. I wouldn't give it to them every single day, all the time. It's not really the best for them. You want to make sure they're getting lots of protein too, because they are omnivores. They need both protein and the greens and the fruit and things like that. Another thing I like to do for them every so often, since I have reptiles, is every so often I will give them like a cricket or mealworm or superworm or something. They absolutely love the bugs because, yet again, that's something they get in the wild. It's a great little boost of protein. Anytime I've had a hamster or a mouse or a rat not do so well, or they seem kind of under the weather, I'll give them one of those as like a protein boost, and they seem to just perk right up. I really do recommend it. It might be kind of gross to you guys, but they like it. It's what they'd eat in the wild, so I suggest it. Keep a water bottle on your cage at all times. They need fresh water. It's very important for them because they drink constantly. I feel like I refill their water bottles at least once a day, and I do have 2 on the cage. They are constantly drinking. They need lots and lots of water, and they just have a lot of energy, constantly using, so I find that lots of water is good. Just because I like taking precautionary measures and I want them to be as healthy as possible, I do also use the Oasis Vita Drops. It just has very good vitamins for hamsters, mice, gerbils, rats, little animals like that. And I just add a couple to each water bottle, and I don't know, I just like to give them that little extra something just to make them a little healthier. Something that is very common in rats, especially females, I've come to find, is they often get cancer and tumors as they get older. A lot of the time, the tumors are fatty tumors, which is a good thing, so they're usually benign, they don't harm them, but it's definitely something you want to get checked out as you see it. I don't know what it is, but it's like a really common trait that they get in their older age, maybe around the 1.5 year mark. So something to keep in mind is if you get rats, you're gonna have to take them to the vet. It is unlike some other small animals, but I do suggest it. You want to make sure your animals are happy and healthy, and it would be absolutely cruel to not do that. So keep that in mind when you're budgeting how much you're going to spend on these guys. It is very important for them. They will need to go to the vet. You can neuter and spay them. Some people suggest that, especially in females, just to kind of help them not get like a cervical cancer or something along those lines. It is definitely optional. It's up to you. I found that the surgery is usually about $300 total, so that is definitely something to keep in mind. I love giving mine treats. Mine really like yogis or things like this, the little yogurt treats. I have the strawberry ones here, but mine also really like the blueberry and the little cheese flavor. These here, it's like a mixed nut variety, and it has raisins and dates in here, pumpkin seeds, all kinds of little stuff. They absolutely love this. I give them some of these every so often. Ooh, and let me see if I have any. Mine also really like these. They have the yogurt in the middle, seeds are on the outside. These are a big hit. Really like to give them these little Timothy biscuits. They love these. These are kind of like more of a healthy option as far as treats go. I like to give them mineral chews because rat teeth are always going to be growing. So give them wood, things to chew on, they need little toys, and then mineral chews are a really great option too. I know they don't look like it, but they are good for them. They have, like I said, minerals, they're really hard, easy to chew on. Mine don't really seem to like the salt licks. I think that's more geared towards like rabbits, guinea pigs. Mine don't really seem to care for it. They also need lots of exercise, so I do highly recommend letting them run around for like an hour or 2 a day, if not more. More is always better. Make sure you supervise them so they're not getting into anything, because they will chew your cables and your stuff. They need exercise. I have tried giving mine a wheel. I have tried the wheel that looks like this. I have tried the silent wheels. They don't use them. Yours probably will. Mine, I don't know what it is. None of them like it. I'm not really sure, but they do have lots of energy. They do need exercise, so I definitely suggest it. The silent wheel will be your best friend. They are nocturnal creatures, so they are going to be more active at night. If you can get a water bottle that's a little quieter, the silent wheel, you're going to be much happier in the long run because they do make a lot of noise at night. If you're looking at getting a rat, I really suggest looking at your rat rescues that are local. Those do exist. Pet Finder is also a really great resource. If you go online, petfinder.com, you can maybe find people rehoming rats there. Definitely look into rescuing. Those rats seem to be much more social than the ones at the pet stores and healthier, I find, overall. That's not all of them, that's not, I don't know, but rats are good rescue pets, so I would definitely look into it. Overall, I would say if I were to rate rats on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give them a full 10. They're really sweet. I have never been bit by my rats. I've been nibbled a few times when I've given them like little Cheerios or treats. They're just absolute sweethearts, and like I said, they're really smart. You can train them different tricks. You can litter box train them. Mine aren't, but you can do that. I can't even begin to express how much I love having rats. So I will see if mine maybe want to come out for a little while. I really don't think they're going to want to. They've been sleeping, so we'll see. But I have 4. I have Sesame, Wisteria, Aspen, and Juniper. They are absolute sweethearts. I showed them in my introducing my pets video, but let me see if they'll come out. With rats, you are going to need to clip their nails. You don't have to give them baths, but if you would like to try, they may enjoy it. I have not given mine a bath yet. I just wipe them down with wipes. They do make some that are specific for small animals at the store, and that is what I use. And here is Juniper. Juniper has a solid stripe going down her back, and she needs her nails clipped. Jeez, girl, your nails are long. So you have to be very careful with clipping the nails. I would suggest getting an adult or a parent to help you, but they are so sweet. Right, Juniper? You're a sweetheart. What, you just want to look up there, huh? What is it? Oh, what are you doing? You can't climb on the ring light. Juniper is awesome. Hi, Annie. So yes, this is Juniper. She's a baby. And they are also really great shoulder animals. They make great parrots. Alright, so this lighting is whack. I apologize. But as I said, it has the 2 doors in the front. They have some hammocks over there. Some of these little girls are sleeping in their hammocks. There is Juniper that I was just holding. This is one of those little corner curtain-like things that I bought. They really like hiding in that. This up here is their favorite area for whatever reason. Hi, Angel. And I put some fabric on the top just to shield it a little bit more, make it a little darker for them. And they've pulled it through. They really enjoy it. As you can see, it's very nice and clean. I just replaced everything, like the bedding. So it's looking pretty good. Here's one of those mineral chews that I mentioned. I have this wood chew that they really enjoy. I have an igloo. Some of this chalky food I'm not a huge fan of. And I like wooden bird toys. I think those make a really great toy for them. There's their 2 water bottles. And then, hi Angel. I'm gonna close this up. And go down here. So here's another layer, or area, whoops. I have a little pretzel wooden chew for them. More toys on the sides, as you can see. They really like these carrots. I have another one. I don't know what I did with it. The little hide there. More hides. Oops. A hammock I made. I need to make some more for them. They just constantly chew them up. So I'm always replacing hammocks for them. But yeah. Come on. Hey, take it. You love these. Angels. Take it. Take it. That's Sesame. She took it. Wisteria, come here. Wisteria. Juniper, come here. Juniper, come on. Take it, Juniper. No. Juniper, here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up so I know you guys liked it. If you want to see some more care guides, let me know what you want to see, and I will be sure to check those comments out. Make sure to subscribe on your way out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!